All right, welcome to another episode from the Chart Reader. So I'm taking a look at Carvana and SOFI on this video. If there's enough time, I want to quickly flash SFR. It actually looks a little interesting to me, but I'll be honest, I think some people might get offended by me putting Carvana and SOFI on the same video. All right. I think a lot of people would argue that like SoFi might become a blue chip one day. It might replace Bank of America and Wells Fargo and whatever, right? And I'm not necessarily here to talk about that, but one thing I want to say, and I said it on my last video, I said it on a bunch of my like stock twit and Twitter posts. Look, Carvana's not the same meme stock that it was before. Okay, and I think we're starting to see that the meme stock game isn't what it used to be. All right, GameStop has nasty earnings, drops really hard. I'm not too sure what AMC looks like. I really haven't seen that in a while. I don't even remember what Ape looks like. I'll be like, I don't look at those anymore. Best Buy, Bed Bath and Beyond got delisted. Like the meme world isn't what it is. Carvana is dropping earnings. Carvana is actually saying, you know what, that good earnings that we had right here that actually made us go, you know what, today we're actually going to say it's actually better than we thought. Monster. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is not the same meme stock that it was. And look, SoFi is essentially living the same good news, good earnings pop, right? And I'll get to that one shortly. But yeah, I think the big story here, and again, I'll kind of say it when I get more into the details, but this isn't the same meme play that it was a while ago. And I'll be honest, I wish I went a little heavier than I have on this one. But look, what are we going to do today? Same thing we always do, right? We're going to look at the daily and the weekly to see how this thing is setting up short term. We do have our 5 moving averages. There are horizontal support and resistance lines that I do draw manually myself. And then when we're done up here, we'll use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. Hey, really quickly, if you can please like this video, subscribe to the channel, share this with your friends. Look, comment good or bad. Anything you can do really does help me out with these YouTube algorithms, for real, okay? All right, so let's get into it. And look, again, I said it in the beginning and I'm going to say it one more time. This stock is not the meme stock that it used to be, all right? I know today is a really big volume pop, and generally I kind of say, hey, if you're going to go from this low to that high, you know, blah, blah, blah. Look, this was justified. Okay, it very much so was justified. And you know, I generally don't talk about the news. All right, I talk about these lines way more than the news. This news was important because look, the reason Carvana did well was because it dropped good earnings. Obviously, from there it broke all 5 moving averages, and I always say if you're over all 5, great things will happen. Right? The fact that it had good earnings, broke all the lines, and today they actually say, you know what? I think our numbers are going to be even better than we expect. The strength of that sentence is this 50 burger. Do you know what I mean? Like, this isn't some like random meme army push. That's why we went from like this low to this. Nah, this was justified. Okay, and I've had some really good conversations about this company's earnings because again, I know a lot of people. Look, I'll be honest. The main reason I didn't put that much money into this stock is I think I still had a lot of like meme stock hesitation for this. The market has been really good, and I've been putting my money in what I kind of thought were good companies. Right? I really think Carvana has proven itself that it's a good company. Right? Like, look, when I drive on these major freeways in Los Angeles, I see those stupid Carvana buildings. And I say stupid jokingly, but end of the day, I see them. You know what I mean? And people are buying, you know, I'm not trying to get into fundamentals and bullshit and stuff like that. But like this, look, cause I also see GameStops and stuff like that. That was kind of a silly sentence in all honesty, right? But dude, good earnings reactions, good more than bullish like confirmation of those good earnings. It volume is king. RSI looks good. MACD looks good. There's a lot going on this chart right now. Okay, where are we actually sitting? Look, we're sitting in this horizontal. In this horizontal right here. All right. And really, I do think these are some really good lines. And let's be honest, we close at basically this line right here, right? Obviously a couple cents off, but yeah, it makes sense. I actually still believe that there's a really good, reasonable leap. What does this look like after? You know, I don't care about after hours. Not much movement. Interesting. And in a lot of ways, I think not much movement's actually a good thing, right? Because if this thing was going to be a silly dump, it'd be happening by now. So I actually still think 31 is very realistic. I think once we get to 31, we might have a little bit of a cool down, but man, after 31, you can see why I didn't draw it, because from there, it's a lot of silliness that actually puts a 40 sign, and these are the lines I'm going to draw, right? We're going to put a 40 something target and then basically $100 target. All right. And look, don't have $100 dreams on a $24 share, $24 stock, right? But man, I'm going to say it again. I regret not putting more into this. I'm personally going to kind of wait for a cool down and see. Maybe I'll try to play a run to 31 tomorrow if it hits. But yeah, I have more respect for this than I have had on the last videos. And if you watch my last videos, I had respect for it already. I regret not taking my own advice. There's actually no other way of saying it, you know? So Carvana, one more time, dropping the hammer like a beast, all right? And look, again, we just draw that $100 line on the daily and on the weekly. It kind of confirms it. There's a reason to believe that if it's moving average theory, right? If you break the 50, the next place you're going to go is the 100. Next place we're going to go is the 100 theoretically, and that actually lines up pretty well with the line I just drew, right? So again, don't have a $100 dream, but dude, there might be a 4 burger here sitting, right? And a 4X is what I'm saying right there. So Carvana, badass, all right? SOFI. Look, SOFI has been moving really well, all right? Not a nasty, wild, crazy percent jump, all right? Going from 2 to 6, though, is very close. Sorry. Going from 6 to 8, getting $2 is almost a 50% swing, though. So, like, please, please, please don't be mad that this thing isn't like, quote unquote, flying, right? But this has been doing really, really well. This is broken out of the moving average cluster that it was struggling with for a while, right? And in all honesty, what does this look like to me? This looks a little bit like Palantir, just talking charts, right? Stuck in a cluster, starts to take off and then keeps going, right? SOFI is not here to be a silly, wild runner, all right? I know it used to be when it was like a brand new stock, when the D-SPAC came out. I know my wife's Indian, and like, I forget the Indian dude's name, but like there's a dude's name that's like there was a lot of hype in SOFI. At this point, I think people, like I kind of said in the beginning of the video, I think people really see this as like a maybe blue chip one day, right? Like maybe this is the way we bank in the future. Like, let's be honest, dude. I don't have any kids, but kids today, who's going into buildings, right? Like I can see more people in the next few years doing more things with SOFI and online. And hey, if Wells Fargo and Bank of America can keep up, good for them. But this might be the Netflix, and those might be the Blockbuster, right? And with that comes the fact that this isn't going to fly anymore. This hopefully is a slow and steady chug, right? Like that's not a bad thing. So a couple things to note: we haven't even touched the 8 yet. Generally, you fly, cool down, go. We still haven't touched this yet, right? So that to me again screams Palantir, right? This thing takes off, should come here, then go. No. What we're actually doing is kind of this. We're just taking off and going, not even touching the 8, right? So, dude, this is a beautiful chart. It actually really is. And look where we're at. Look where we're at. This is a badass channel if we can break it. Because why? Green, 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 red, 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 green, 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 red, 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 green, 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 red, 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 red. A whole mess of nothing. Hopefully just straight green, 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 green. Easy 20 burger on top of this almost 50 burger. You know what I mean? So SOFI, slow and steady, not a bad thing. I see the 90 RSI. I don't think I care. Honestly, 80% of the work is up here, and you're telling me we haven't even touched the 8 moving average? Woo! Oh yeah, no. All right, like we'll live in the 90s. I'm not too worried. Oh man, there's actually not a lot of history on this thing. And this $10 line starts to play with some IPO stuff too. Oh man, SOFI. SOFI's getting interesting for sure. And we've actually already surpassed this last run, right? So a lot to like here. A lot to really like here. Oh, interesting. Damn, I'm probably going to have to draw a line right here soon. I think we'll do it next week. Because again, I don't know the math, right? But theoretically, by Friday when this candle closes and Monday when the next candle opens, we'll see where it moves and I'll draw a horizontal there. For all I know, it's probably going to end up being around 50% candle. I actually will go ahead and draw that. I think that's a good one to draw. Yeah. I think 913 is a good one to add on the daily. But one more time, before I added that, I said I loved this 820 to 10 line. Like, just because I added this doesn't mean I think it's that much harder. Actually, as I look at the addition, it's actually in a pretty good place, but I don't think this is going to be much of a resistance. I think this is a good place to put the next RSI cool down. I think that's a good way of putting it, but man, I like this a lot. Really quickly, let me just flash it. SFR. SFR has seen a lot of pain, all right? And look, we get I don't think this is going to be more than a pump and dump if I had to guess, but I am watching to see if this thing pumps maybe all the way to like 50 something, maybe to like 45-ish, right? 44-ish. Either way, if we're talking about adding 15 cents on a 30-cent stock, that could be a silly 50% pump, right? So I don't know if it's going to sustain. I don't know if it's going to break the 50 line. I would love to ride it if it goes to the 50 line, because what happened today, we broke 2 moving averages on a single candle. I wish we closed above this. I would have loved that so much. But yeah, there's not that many big candles to the left of us, right? So a decent reason to believe there is a 50% swing potential here, all right? Don't get greedy. I don't think it's worth getting greedy to go for the dollar, but again, that could be real monstrous if it hits, so just watch it, all right? And again, this might very easily come back down to like 28 cents, basically lose roughly 10% of what you might pick it up at, right? Or shit, maybe it comes back down and then goes up. Again, I have no idea, right? But this is interesting. I'm watching this one for sure. So, hey, appreciate your time. Let me know what you think. Otherwise, thank you.